Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Even while enjoying a bit of downtime, I couldn't help but dive deeper into what might be one of the most important trades the Pittsburgh Steelers have made in recent memory. The blockbuster move that brought Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith to the Steel City isn't just a headline, it's a chess move. And today, we're going to break down exactly why this changes the game, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, and how these new pieces might catapult the Steelers right into serious title contention for the upcoming season. Let's start with Jalen Ramsey, because, let's be honest, he's the centerpiece of this entire deal. The Steelers didn't just add another corner, they brought in a guy who, despite what the doubters are saying, is still one of the top defensive backs in all of football. I've seen the talk out there, he's not what he used to be. He's past his prime. Let's pump the brakes. Ramsey might not be that shutdown, boundary-only lockdown corner from 5 years ago, but what he is now might actually be even more valuable. What makes him so dangerous is his versatility. This is a 6'1", 200-pound defensive weapon who can line up outside, in the slot, and even at safety. And Pittsburgh plans to take full advantage of that. From what I've gathered, the Steelers are going to use Ramsey primarily in the nickel, which is a shift from his typical outside role. And for those who are wondering why that matters, this isn't just about coverage. It's about creating chaos. You see, the modern NFL defense lives in nickel. Last season alone, Pittsburgh ran nickel looks nearly 80% of the time. So when you place a player like Ramsey in that star position, right over the slot, you're not just covering, you're attacking. Think back to the Mike Hilton days. Between 2017 and 2020, Hilton wasn't just a slot corner. He was a heat-seeking missile off the edge, a disguised blitzer who could come flying in like an extra linebacker and throw entire protection schemes out of rhythm. That's exactly the kind of role Ramsey's stepping into, but Ramsey is bigger, longer, and arguably even more explosive than Hilton ever was. He's got elite instincts, length to keep offensive linemen off his frame, and the kind of tackling efficiency that's rare for any corner, let alone one being asked to crash the backfield. Since 2022, he's been the highest graded corner in run defense. That's not a fluke, that's elite-level football IQ combined with physicality. When you put that kind of player in the nickel, especially in a scheme like Mike Tomlin's, you're looking at a defensive weapon who can impact the game at all three levels, disrupting screens, blowing up runs, and getting home on blitzes. And make no mistake, Tomlin's going to send him. Now, of course, Ramsey isn't going to live in the slot every down. There will be situations, especially in base formations, where he'll line up as a strong safety. This gives Pittsburgh flexibility. Darius Slay and Joey Porter Jr. will lock down the outside, and Ramsey will slide into the box next to Deshaun Elliott, who'll play free safety in those packages. But again, because the Steelers operate primarily out of nickel, Ramsey will spend the majority of his time right there over the slot, giving quarterbacks one more nightmare to account for before the snap. The beauty of this move is how it layers pressure. Before the injury to TJ Watt last season, this defense was allowing under 19 points per game. They were already elite. Now you add Ramsey not just as a shutdown defender, but as a have-a-creaking blitzer. That's the kind of move that can take a great unit and make it dominant. Offenses will no longer just have to find TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith on every snap. They'll have to locate where Ramsey is. Is he playing deep? Is he in the slot ready to come off the edge? Is he matching up one-on-one with your tight end? That kind of mental stress builds over the course of a game. That kind of confusion creates mistakes. And that's where turnovers are born. Some folks are wondering, okay, if Ramsey's going to be doing all this, what does that mean for the free safety spot that used to belong to Minkah Fitzpatrick? That's a fair question, and I'll tell you this. It seems like Juan Thornhill is the guy who's going to get the first crack at it. Now, I know Thornhill's last couple years in Cleveland didn't exactly light the world on fire. He had some injury issues, missed a bunch of games, and never really looked 100%, but when he was healthy, particularly back in 2022 with the Kansas City Chiefs, he was solid. A steady presence with range, decent speed, and the kind of experience that matters in the back end of a playoff-caliber defense. Let's be clear, Thornhill is not Minkah, but this defense doesn't need him to be. When you've got this kind of pass rush, and when your corners are playing press coverage with the kind of physicality that Slay and Porter bring, you don't need an elite center fielder. You need someone dependable, and if Thornhill stays healthy, he can be that guy. Plus, the coaching staff is reportedly thrilled with how he's looked this offseason. He's flying around. He's vocal, and he's bringing the kind of veteran presence you want in a safety group. But if Thornhill doesn't work out, there are still options. One possibility that's been floated, though I think it's a long shot, is playing Ramsey at free safety full-time. I don't think that's going to happen. The Steelers want him in the slot. They want him creating mismatches and chaos near the line of scrimmage, but if push comes to shove, and if injuries or performance issues force their hand, Ramsey is capable of handling that role. That's just how talented and adaptable he is. Free agency could also be a path the Steelers explore. If they're not sold on Thornhill, there are a few names out there. Justin Simmons, for example, has been one of the better safeties in the league over the last few years, though he's definitely lost a step. His missed tackle rate is creeping up, and he didn't look like a great fit in Atlanta's scheme last year. Jordan Poyer is another option. He's close with Aaron Rodgers, has played a ton of zone, and brings leadership. Then there's Quandre Diggs, who had a Lisfranc injury, but has been a steady performer when healthy. None of these are long-term answers, but they're solid stopgaps if needed. One other name to watch, Sebastian Castro, the undrafted rookie out of Iowa. Not the biggest or fastest guy, but he's instinctive, tough, and plays with that chip on his shoulder. He might not start right away, but don't be surprised if he makes the roster and carves out a role as a rotational safety or special teams ace. What's clear is this: the Steelers made this move to evolve. Minkah Fitzpatrick is a great player, but over the last couple of years, his impact plays have dipped, and there were some communication breakdowns on the back end of the defense. Ramsey, with his versatility and physicality, fits what this coaching staff wants in this new-look Steelers defense. They're not just trying to stop people. They're trying to make quarterbacks uncomfortable. They're trying to dictate terms, and that's where Ramsey becomes the ultimate chess piece. Imagine being an opposing offensive coordinator and trying to game plan around this guy. One snap, he's blanketing your slot receiver. The next, he's blowing up a screen. Then he's blitzing off the edge. Then he's dropping back into a robber zone. Every time you look up, he's somewhere new. That's the kind of player who changes games. That's the kind of player who tilts the field. And when you pair him with a pass rush that already features one of the best edge duos in football, things start to get scary for opposing offenses. Because now it's not just protect against the edge rush. It's protect against the edge rush while identifying where the wild card is. And that wild card is Jalen Ramsey. This defense is going to be fast, it's going to be physical, and it's going to be flat out difficult to deal with. The Steelers aren't just plugging holes, they're building a unit that can take over games, that can close out wins, that can carry a team deep into the postseason. And if Ramsey stays healthy and buys into this role, watch out. Now let's flip the script and talk offense. Because the Steelers didn't just reload on defense with Jalen Ramsey, they also added a unique and highly underrated weapon in Jonnu Smith. And listen, if you're thinking of Jonnu as just another tight end, you're already missing the bigger picture. This isn't your old school, hand-in-the-dirt kind of player. This is an offensive chess piece who's going to be used more like a hybrid wide receiver, specifically as the team's big slot option. And let me tell you, that role is going to be crucial in Arthur Smith's new scheme alongside Aaron Rodgers. When the Steelers made this move, it wasn't because they were desperate for another tight end. They already had Pat Freiermuth as the primary receiving option at the position and Darnell Washington as the inline blocker. No, they brought in Jonnu because of his ability to create mismatches all over the field, especially in the middle of the formation. This guy is a nightmare to deal with. He's built like a truck at just under 250 pounds. But he moves like a wide receiver, and with Rodgers at quarterback, who thrives off quick reads and yards after the catch, Jonnu is going to feast in this offense. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be one of the most shocking moves of the NFL offseason, whispers are swirling around the league that Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin has allegedly confirmed a trade that would send star linebacker T.J. Watt to the Philadelphia Eagles. While nothing official has hit the league wires, sources close to the situation suggest that something big might be brewing between the two franchises. Tomlin, known for his tight-lipped approach to team matters, reportedly hinted at the possibility during a closed-door session with select media, sparking a wave of speculation that has since rippled across sports talk shows and social media platforms. Some insiders claim Tomlin's exact words were along the lines of, "Sometimes change is what's best for both sides," when referring to Watt's future. The idea of Watt in an Eagles jersey is enough to make Philly fans dream of another deep playoff run. Pairing him with that already aggressive defensive line could be a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. But why would Pittsburgh part ways with the face of their defense? Some analysts point to Watt's recent injuries and the team's focus on rebuilding with younger talent. Others believe it's a cap space move, or perhaps Watt himself is seeking a fresh start in a system that offers a clearer path to the Super Bowl. Still, it's important to remember, until there's ink on paper, this remains firmly in the realm of speculation. Both teams have declined to comment officially, and Watt's camp has remained silent. That hasn't stopped fans from reading into social media posts, travel patterns, and even jersey swaps on Instagram. Could we really be witnessing the end of TJ Watt's era in Pittsburgh? Or is this just another offseason mirage? Time will tell, but for now, the rumor mill is spinning, and it's spinning fast. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.